会儿远。我们只能使点那个，只有它用音频看看。哦，行，别不用老动，就固定一下就完了。就 OK 动。
The question now answered here, when there have been equilibrium strategy that can be shown to be equilibrium, something total equilibrium, and that can sustain the highest level of cooperation to some extent. Okay, it's a constructive study. Okay, in economics, actually, the talk started by Shapiro and Stick is very famous efficiency weak hypothesis. And then in the continuous action actually business framework, people have shown that so you need to have gradual trust building, okay, to sustain internal cooperation forever after a while. Okay. And then so I'm following the tradition, the new tradition of identification business dilemma. Okay. And then in the recent paper by Seattle and Recordino, they have used simulation, okay, to show that actually off-protect is a version, modification of the trigger strategy, of the hit protection strategy. Okay, so whenever you get cheated on, you just return. That is auto-attack. They show that auto-attack is robust in simulation. In simulation, robust equilibrium. And let me say, so we have started our search for the best strategy, best equilibrium after we actually did the experiments. But I'm not reporting the experiments details. But in the experiments, we found that actually people don't normally wake up. Okay, as you can see, if in the previous period both with infection, people still stay with the partner, want to stay with the partner 6% of the time. Or otherwise, when one defects, is about 77% of time, people still want to remain with the partner. Okay? So the question is then, can you find equilibrium that is like that? And also, you see that when you CD means you were cheating on in the previous period by your partner, and then you only play 40% cooperation when the partnership continues. Instead, if you were the one who cheated, okay, then you'll be actually more forthcoming with your willingness to cooperate. Okay, and we sustain get this kind of properties in the equilibrium. Okay, as I say, that is actually you have some wisdoms in the folks wisdom like I'm always doing that elsewhere, or you need to demonstrate sincere remorse for beg for forgiveness. Okay, that is the interpretation. Okay, so let me allow me to skip this Euro definition of history, strategy, all these forms of performance because we don't have time for that. It's more or less standard game theory. And let me start with the characterization of. So we are searching for this other one first. Okay. So if you want to sustain any kind of an equilibrium that end up or on the equilibrium path, you have eternal cooperation. Okay. After a while, you'll be cooperating. You both will be cooperating forever. If you want that, then the payoff will be that. And then, if you want that in equilibrium, the V0 is the equilibrium you expect as a single in the single spool before you start a partnership. Okay? Then the exact payoff can't be more than VEC, which is smaller than that. Okay? This is the cost you have to pay to some extent to be really to convince each other that nobody has incentive to be there. Okay? And then if you want to do that, if you want to continue with alternation that CDDC switching within your partner, with the same partner, right, with the free partner, then the higher payout you can expect is that. And okay, if you have internal diffraction on the curve, then you expect the normalized payout of 0. Okay. Okay, the theorem is, don't look at. What we can prove actually in the paper, but I just illustrate. What we did is this is the delta, this is discontinuous, the battery delta, and this is the G, the gain when you cheat on your partner. Okay, and then we will assume, for this graph, R is 2/3. Okay, and in this area, you can always achieve internal cooperation equilibrium, and with our particular construction, I will show right away, you can get the highest, the upper bound, you can achieve the upper bound with our that. And in this area, this A area is alternation strategy will achieve you the optimal, the highest possible payout you can expect. Okay? The higher, let me specify. The higher payout of equilibrium that you use that end up either in internal cooperation or internal alternation or internal diffraction. Okay? In this area, I can always guarantee you the optimal. Okay, here is diffraction. Okay, you can only sustain always diffraction in this area. And this is the best. Okay, that is the strategy we use. The strategy is actually a simple Markov or finite automaton of the Markov strategy. And you start in the single spool with everybody use the same strategy. Okay, create a new strategy of cooperating with probability of x0. Okay, then everything bolded, okay, the bolded outcomes are equilibrium on the equilibrium path. Everything can happen. Then the one so you switch to different states. Okay, let me just tell you when you are in the DC and CD situation, one effect, one cooperate, then actually in the next period, if you exploited your partner, you are supposed to play like you see here. You are supposed to cooperate 100% in the next period. But you actually may be leaving your partner with a slight probability of Y1. Okay? If you were the guy who was exploited, then you won't say you want punish him with some certain probability, but also forgive him with some certain value. So sooner or later, everybody will be ending up in the internal cooperation path. Okay. So our task is only to find the parameters. Okay, the parameters x0, xcd, y1, ydc, such that we show that it's like equilibrium. Okay, it's a something like equilibrium. Okay, this is actually then the other for internal alternation. It looks how it looks like, but it's not that important. Okay, here is an illustration of actually the same picture like before, but with these lines. This is showing what the previous, like the output tag, the output tag strategy can achieve. It will not achieve. Let's say they can be the best equilibrium in this kind of degenerate situation. Okay. In comparison to our strategy, we can sustain the optimal equilibrium. So in our limited case, limited sense, optimal equilibrium for all these areas. Okay. Yeah. This should be concluding my first talk. First paper, the first talk. because I did experiments, as I said, so with associative matching, okay? So I did an associative matching experiment. And in these experiments, okay, so we started with the standardized, taken from Bergstrom, okay, textbooks with paper, to start with the index of so matching selectivity, okay. And this is the likelihood that the operator is operator minus the defector is okay. That is how bias the matching is. If it were, then the matching is index will always be 0. Okay. So in that sense, and then the physics advantage, disadvantage can be expressed in this formula. Okay. Under some examples, I'm not going to describe exactly how it looks, but it's called stringers in the knife associative matching model. Okay, and you can find this kind of dynamic situation that you have two stable equilibrium 0, so 100% deflection is a stable equilibrium with a small, freezing of deflection, and a mixed equilibrium with what not. This is just one kind of associative matching model that can give you this kind of dynamics. Okay, so this is relevant to us in the sense that we did an experiment, and we are based on previous experiments that honestly can be recognized to some extent in experiments. Okay, and in that sense, we started with the assumption that it's done, so we want to tell people, okay, we will match you guys with some kind of associativity. Okay, we want to investigate, we want to see whether this kind of design will yield improvement regarding cooperation rate. Okay, what we did is we did history treatment, but we have 14 players, 14 subjects in a group. Okay, they are aware that the matching will be associative, based on their own weighted action history of the past 5 rounds. Okay, the weighting is according to some Fibonacci number. Okay, so if you, for example, if in all 5 rounds you have the cooperation, you have 12 as your matching score. If you have the deflection for all 5 rounds, you will be 0. Okay, and then we will match you. We tell people you'll be matched regarding so pairwise from up and down regarding your matching score or what you have done regarding what you have done in the last 5 years. Okay, and this is the one treatment, and then we have another treatment where we added 2 dummies. The 2 dummies, they do one thing. They cooperate all the time. That is a computer dummy, 2 computer dummies. They were told there were 2 dummies, but they were not told. They were only told that the dummies they will be doing something constant, not knowing whether it's deflection or always deflection or always cooperation. Okay, and then in our game, we actually started with 5 rounds, random matching, prison dilemma. Okay. Without any feedback, it's kind of like testing on whether their initial inclination towards cooperation. Okay, and then followed up with 25 rounds, either with history or with history with dummies, or as control random matching, 25 rounds, but always with feedback. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the title from so these dummies. So in this dummy can be interpreted as the virtual robot. Okay, this is the first later. Okay, this is the result. And let me just show the result. The result is in that sense, you can see that with the history, let's say, is almost indifferent in average payout. Okay, regarding median actually happens. And then, but when you introduce the dummy, you have a huge jump incorporated among the non-dummy players, the 40 non-dummy players. Okay? And this is the overall significance. Okay? Actually, we all identify significant assertivity outcome. That one, the last slide. Okay? Okay, the last slide, we have written associated results. Later results to confusionism. I mean, that is actually related to the previous keynote speech to some extent. So I thought, okay, contrary to Max Weber's analysis and prediction, actually China has this growth miracle, right? And so some have tried to understand that based on Confucian values. And okay, actually after we did this experiment, we searched Confucian texts, we found a lot of supporting evidence. I just named a few that Confucius promoted as a particular assertive matching environment set up within the society, okay, with his teaching. Like, you know, the Chinese answer here, at least all his translation is also clear that, okay, assertive matching. And then in Chinese history, there's really a long history of promoting this work. I mean, all the component system that virtue is very important, that virtue should be promoted. Okay? And when you look at the material incentive, actually the material incentive is rather low, that you can really move a lot of people towards cooperate, towards virtual behavior by just giving them this kind of reward. So, but probably because of that is a guess, because of the underlying assertive matching environment, then you can jump, you can move the initial